Let me ask you this. Have you ever felt like you're working harder than ever, but success still feels out of reach? You wake up tired, drag yourself through the day, and by the time evening comes, you're completely drained. It's not that you're lazy or unmotivated. In fact, you might be doing too much. The real problem? Certain behaviors in your daily routine are quietly stealing your energy and holding you back from success. Here's the truth. Being successful isn't just about working harder. It's about working smarter. And if you're always running on empty, chances are you're stuck in habits that do more harm than good. In this video, I'm going to share 8 behaviors that I had to let go of in order to feel energized, focused, and actually move forward in life. If you want to achieve success without burning out, stick around, because once you recognize and replace these habits, everything changes. 1. Saying yes to everything. One of the fastest ways to drain yourself is by agreeing to things you don't actually have the energy or desire to do. I used to say yes to every request, helping colleagues with extra work, attending events I didn't care about, or taking on responsibilities just to avoid disappointing people. On the outside, it looked like I was reliable. But inside, I was exhausted and resentful. The truth is, every time you say yes to something unimportant, you're saying no to something that actually matters: your health, your goals, your peace of mind. Successful people understand the power of setting boundaries. They don't try to please everyone. They focus on what moves them forward. If you constantly feel worn out, ask yourself, am I saying yes out of obligation or because it aligns with my priorities? Learning to say no respectfully is one of the best gifts you can give yourself. 2. Neglecting rest and sleep. Here's a big one: not valuing sleep. For years, I believed the myth that hustling late into the night meant I was being productive. But in reality, sleep deprivation turned me into a less focused, less creative, and more irritable version of myself. Think about it. Your brain and body recharge at night. If you skip that process, you're basically trying to run a marathon on an empty tank. Sure, you can push for a while, but eventually you'll crash. Successful people don't just work hard, they recover hard too. That means treating sleep as non-negotiable. A full night of quality rest sharpens memory, improves problem-solving, and gives you the energy to handle challenges. So, if you're feeling constantly worn out, it's not a sign you need to do more. It's a sign your body is begging you to rest. 3. Multitasking all the time. On paper, multitasking sounds efficient. You're tackling multiple things at once. But in reality, it's one of the biggest energy drains. When I used to juggle emails, texts, meetings, and projects at the same time, I thought I was being productive. But I was really just splitting my focus into tiny fragments. Instead of finishing tasks with excellence, I ended up with half-complete work and constant mental fatigue. Studies show multitasking actually lowers productivity and increases mistakes. It also stresses your brain because it's constantly switching gears. The better approach? Single tasking. Focus on one thing at a time, give it your full attention, and then move on. You'll work faster, feel calmer, and actually get more done in less time. If you're always tired, multitasking could be the invisible thief draining your energy. 4. Ignoring physical health. You can't pour from an empty cup, and your body is the cup. For a long time, I treated my health like an afterthought. I skipped workouts, ate whatever was convenient, and relied on caffeine to push through exhaustion. The result? I felt sluggish, unfocused, and burned out. Success isn't just about mental toughness, it's about physical energy. Regular movement, nourishing food, and hydration fuel your body for performance. Even small changes, like walking for 20 minutes a day or drinking more water, can make a huge difference. Think of your health as your foundation. If your body is weak, it doesn't matter how ambitious your goals are, you won't have the energy to reach them. So, if you're constantly feeling worn out, start by checking in with your body. Are you giving it what it needs to keep up with your dreams? 5. Constantly comparing yourself. Comparison is one of the most exhausting habits we fall into. I used to scroll through social media, comparing my progress to people who seemed miles ahead of me. No matter what I achieved, it never felt like enough. And that mental pressure drained me more than any physical task ever could. Here's the truth. Comparison steals your joy and your energy. You waste valuable time looking at other people's paths instead of walking your own. Successful people focus on their lane. They measure progress by how far they've come, not by where someone else is. If you feel constantly tired and unmotivated, it might be because you're carrying the unnecessary weight of comparison. Let it go. Your journey doesn't need to look like anyone else's. 6. Overcommitting and overworking. There's a big difference between working hard and overworking. I used to pack my schedule so tightly that I barely had time to breathe. The thought was, if I just push harder, I'll reach success faster. But instead, I hit burnout. Overcommitting doesn't make you more successful, it makes you less effective. You can't give your best when you're stretched too thin. Truly successful people understand balance. They focus on quality, not quantity. They choose fewer commitments, but they show up fully for them. If you're constantly exhausted, it's time to evaluate, am I doing too much just to feel busy, or am I doing the right things that actually move me forward? 7. Avoiding downtime. Here's a surprising one: avoiding rest during the day. I used to think breaks were a waste of time. I'd power through hours without pausing, believing it made me more productive. But all it really did was leave me mentally drained and physically tense. Your brain needs recovery just like your muscles do. Even short breaks, stepping outside for fresh air, stretching, or just sitting quietly can restore energy and focus. Downtime isn't laziness. It's a strategy. Many high performers use breaks to come back sharper and more creative. If you resist taking breaks because you feel guilty, remind yourself, rest isn't the opposite of productivity. It's part of it. 8. Negative self-talk. Finally, one of the most draining habits of all, being your own harshest critic. I didn't realize how much energy I wasted beating myself up for mistakes or doubting whether I was good enough. Of all, being your own harshest critic. That inner dialogue was like carrying an invisible weight how much energy I wasted beating myself up for mistakes or doubting whether I was good enough. From the way you speak to yourself. That inner dialogue was like carrying an invisible weight tearing you down. No amount of external achievement and confidence comes from the way you speak to yourself. Practice self-compassion. If your inner voice is constantly tearing you down, talk to a friend, no amount of encouraging, understanding, and supportive. Instead, when you shift your inner dialogue, you don't just protect your energy, the way you talk to a friend, to keep encouraging, understanding, and supportive. There you have it. When you shift your inner dialogue, quietly drain your energy, protect your energy, success, you feel harder drive to keep moving forward. You don't have to change everything overnight. Start by choosing just one behavior to let go of and notice how much lighter, clearer, and more energized you feel. Remember, success isn't just about pushing harder. It's about protecting your energy and focusing on what truly matters. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which one of these habits do you recognize in yourself the most? Drop your answer in the comments. I'd love to know. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on more content about self-growth and success. Thanks for watching, and remember, real success feels energizing, not exhausting.